So I'm going to go through all the four types of problems today. I'm going to begin with the first type, which is mole to mole. Say mole to mole. It means that you've been given an information in moles and you're going to convert it to moles. So you're asked and your given is going to be given in moles. So I'm going to highlight my given and then I'm going to highlight what is asked. So in this case, your given information is moles of zinc, and your asked information is moles of hydrochloric acid, which is HCl. So you always begin with what is given. So what's given is 2.2 moles of zinc. So that's what you're going to begin with. So that's your starting setup. When it says given info in moles, it means that you're going to begin with what's given in the problem. Next comes the mole ratio. So if you ask in your equation given here, if you see in the equation given here, you will see that mole ratio asked is over mole ratio given. So what is the substance asked? It is hydrochloric acid. How many moles do I have in the equation? I have 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. That's why I have 2 moles here. What is given? Zinc is given. So I have 1 mole of zinc. And that's it. This setup is really simple. You just have 2 steps. You have given and you have the mole ratio. Now, how do you put this in the calculator? I just go 2.2 times 2 over 1. So anything over 1 is the same number. So it's 2.2 times 2, which is 4.4 moles of HCl. That's your final answer. That's your type 1. Let's look at type 2. In type 2, you have the given in moles, but you're going to convert it to mass. So mass is always asked in grams. So if you look at the question here, they gave you 3.1 moles of sodium chloride. Let's highlight that. They're asking you grams of chlorine. I'm going to highlight that as well. Now, you always begin with what's given, right from the equation right here. So given info is 3.1 moles of NaCl. So I have it set up here. The next conversion factor is your mole ratio. Where does the mole ratio come from? It comes from the balanced reaction equation. So I have my asked, I have my given. So let's see what is asked. Chlorine is asked. Even though grams of chlorine is asked, remember that you have to write the mole ratio, and that comes from here. So how many moles of chlorine do we have? We have just 1 mole of chlorine. So that goes up here. What goes on the bottom? Mole ratio of given. What is given? Sodium chloride. How many moles do we have? 2 moles NaCl. So that goes here. There's an extra step for this problem because you are going from moles to grams. If you're only finding moles, you can stop right here. Since you're finding grams, you'll have to find the molar mass of what is asked over 1 mole. So what is asked is chlorine. Chlorine is diatomic, which is Cl2. If you look at the periodic table, Cl's mass would be 35.5. Since you have 2 of them, it is 71 grams. So that completes your setup. Given mole ratio, molar mass. So we know the drill, 3.1 times 71 divided by 2, which gives you 110 grams of chlorine gas. So that's your final answer. Let's look at the next problem. Next problem. Next problem goes from mass to mole. So you've been given something in grams. Let's highlight that. And you are going to convert it to moles of sodium nitrate. Let's highlight that. You see how I'm actually underlining or highlighting my given and my asked? That is your first step to be successful in problem solving. Always underline, and you know what to begin with then. Okay, so now you're going to begin with the given info in grams, which is 8.25 grams of calcium nitrate. Now, you cannot go directly into mole ratio because it's given in grams. So you need the molar mass. So what molar mass should be put here? It's the molar mass of what is given. So the given is calcium nitrate. So go on your periodic table, look up the mass of calcium, nitrogen, oxygen, add it up, and that goes here. It comes up to be 164 grams. And that's always, so when you use molar mass, the other side will always have 1 mole. So this is 1 mole right here. The next step is your mole ratio. The mole ratio comes from the balanced reaction. So we are finding the information for sodium nitrate. So it's 2 moles of sodium nitrate over 1 mole of calcium nitrate. Again, the same kind of calculation. You're going to multiply all across the top, divide by the bottom. So 8.25 times 2 divided by 164. I get 0.101 moles sodium nitrate. In all these problems, units and the label are extremely important. And I'll show you why. Because I can go ahead and cancel these units, and you will see that I will end up with the exact unit that I want to be in. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel these. You know what? I'm going to use a pen. Maybe that's easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel the grams with grams. 1 mole calcium nitrate with 1 mole calcium nitrate, which means I end with moles of sodium nitrate, and that's what I want my final answer to be. Let's look at the last type. The last type is your longest type because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 setups in it. Again, you always begin with what is given. So let's underline. I'm going to use the pen now. Let's underline what's given. And you always underline what is asked. So begin with 24.2 grams of propanol, okay? Which means you have grams here. So I need some information in grams, which is the molar mass of that compound. So I got 60 grams, and I told you that anytime you use molar mass, it's always to 1 mole of the substance. So that goes up on the top. The next thing is your mole ratio. And this comes from this equation right here, because you have 9 moles of oxygen, because that's what you're finding out, oxygen. 9 moles of oxygen and 2 moles of propanol. And that goes here. If I'm finding moles, I can stop right here, but I'm finding mass. So I have to find the mass of the molar mass of the substance that's asked, which is oxygen in this case. So 1 oxygen is 16 grams. If you have O2, it's 32 grams. So 32 grams of oxygen to 1 mole. So I do 24.2 times 9 times 32 divided by 60 times 2. And I end up with 58.1 grams of oxygen. If you notice all through the problem, I've never left units or labels anywhere, and that's what you would do. Okay, so go through this problem, go through all these 4 types of problems, and see if you can solve the Google form or worksheet, and then let us know if you need more help. Okay, thank you.